Listen, while we were filming that, it was amazing how it sort of brought back all that excitement of when we first learned to drive when we were 17. Yeah. And, you know, the driving test and passing it. Well, not passing it in your case, because what was it you did? Yeah. What do you do in a driving test if you don't pass it?
Yes.
You...
All right,
I
failed. I failed first time.
Failed.
Yes, I did.
Failure.
Yes, I failed.
Why did you fail?
Well, because a traffic light went red as I was coming up to it, and the examiner said, proceed as you normally would, so I gave it a bootful. Failed.
Presumably you passed first time?
No.
Really?
I failed.
No?
Yeah.
You failed? What, you got lost?
We were going along, and all of a sudden, he hit the dashboard with his clipboard, and he said, "Look out, there's a small child in the road." And I said, "No, there isn't," and kept going. Because there wasn't.
So you were just being pedantic?
No, I was being correct.
He was anticipating an emergency stop, not an argument, you fool.
Was he?
Yeah, that's what was going on. Actually...
What?
But while we're on the subject, at the other end of the scale from our failure, you turned up with a pair of scissors in your pocket, claiming it was ready to cut the L plates off your car.
No, it's true.
That's kind of optimistic.
I didn't see it as a driving test so much as a confirmation of my excellence.
Oh, God.
No, I mean, that's really what it was, because when he said, the man, whatever he was, the instructor, examiner, when he said, "Congratulations, Mr. Clarkson, you've passed," what I heard was, "Congratulations, Mr. Clarkson, you are the best driver I've ever seen in my life." And so you can imagine my surprise 36 hours later to find myself in a field surrounded by sheep that were no longer alive and bits of what used to be my mum's Audi. How did this happen? I'm the best driver in the world and I've gone and stuffed it.
Right, can we now do the news?
Yes,
Because last
yes.
week we were talking about the government's scrappage scheme, which is important, and we got sort of distracted by talking about playing croquet with tortoises instead.
Dead tortoises. Anyway, we mustn't do that again because it is, the scrappage scheme genuinely is important, OK? Because what's happening is to prop up the car industry, the government is really encouraging you to scrap your old car and buy a new one. The trouble is that the cars people are buying are Korean, which means the government is using our money to help Kim Jong-il buy nuclear weapons.
That's the wrong bit of Korea.
Oh, don't be so pedantic.
Well, it's not. It's
Just
hardly
a lot.
pedantic, Jeremy. One is a free market economy making a harmless hatchback, and the other is a totalitarian regime allegedly making weapons of mass destruction.
When a nuclear bomb drops on your house, don't come crying to me about your important distinctions.
Why would the South Koreans nuke Hammersmith?
They use American guidance systems.
Look, we're going off topic again. Can we get back?
Yes,
Can we get back
yes,
to the scrappage scheme?
yes.
Because, now this is an important point. It is more ecological, and this is a fact. The Green Party agree with us on this, only on this point, but they agree with us on this point, that it's more ecological to keep an old car going than it is to scrap it, throw it away, and build a new one.
But that is a true fact. And the other thing as well is if you've got an old car, OK, we really are on topic here. If you've got an old car, it has to be serviced by someone, and that someone is going to be under an arch at the end of your road, and not Kim Jong-il. As we know, Formula One has always been the most glamorous sport in the world, hasn't it, yeah? But not anymore, not from next year. There's 4 new teams joining in, OK? One of them, Manor Grand Prix, is based in Sheffield. How glamorous is that? Oh, yeah.
Strictly speaking, it's actually between Sheffield and Rotherham.
Well, if we're going to be specific and pedantic, it's between Sheffield, Rotherham and Worksop in a place called Dillington, which I know well. And it's exactly like Monte Carlo, apart from in every single detail.
It's going to take the shine off it a bit, isn't it? I can't wait to see their new car.
Oh.
Don't know why I bother with all that carbon fibre. I made mine out of steel.
Stainless steel. Stainless steel. I'll tell you what, if that Fernando Alonso twats into our car, his Ferrari will be buggered. I'll tell you that for no.
Funny, my dad worked in pit, and now I've got a job in pit.
They're replacing Toyota, and they've signed Emo Glock, who presumably is currently learning why it's important to punch anyone who looks at him funny. Is anyone from Sheffield? Are you? Whereabouts? You're from Sheffield? This is honestly, because I'm just thinking, they use in Cosworth engines, or I should say Sheffield, Cozze.
Cozze.
No, Cozze. You've got to like have a stroke halfway through the word. Cozze.
So your face sort of falls... Cozze. Your face falls off.
No, just go on. Can we just, you're from Sheffield, just practice it, just show us.
How'd you say it?
Cozze.
There you are! I think it's fair to say that that team is probably now Top Gear's absolute favourite F1 team. I want them to win everything, so on the podium they can have a big brass band at the end.
Oh, abide with me. No, that's a national anthem. Well, having abide with me on a brass band be lovely. Now, criminals, would you like to get away with your crimes? Are you capable of running more than 100 yards? Well, good news, because the police are thinking of using these now. It's a Mitsubishi Electric. They say it's helping them crack down on CO2.
I don't want the police to crack down on CO2. I want them to get my bloody television back, because it's been 6 years since that was nicked, and I haven't heard a peep out of them whilst they've been going on about cracking down on CO2. I'm going to have to buy another one at this rate.
What were you stopped for the other day? by a policeman. It was some motoring misdemeanor. He just turned around and said, "Oh, good, this must mean you found my television." I tell you what, if I was a policemanist and my chief Freemason came into the office one morning and said, I don't mean I mean chief constable.
You didn't mean that, yeah.
I was getting muddled up. And he said, right, you've got to do your beat to one of those. I would drink my own pepper spray.
Stop bleating. Let us do the news.
Yeah.
Actually, I want to start on a serious note, if I may, with the news, because, as we know, for many years, we've been told that Wayne Rooney is the light and the path to righteousness, and we must emulate his lifestyle and indeed the lifestyle of his lovely wife, Colleen. Now, of course, we realise he is a lazy, talentless, jug-eared oaf.
Quite strong.
And it's strong but true. I'm now hoping this means an end to the Roonification of Britain. Exhibit A, the Range Rover, OK? Now, this was the old model. Note the plain, sensible front end, just some headlights to see where you're going.
It's noble.
It's noble, as dignified as a rolled umbrella. Now look what they've done to it. Look at this. Honest, this is the new one.
What is it?
How much bling can you get on the front?
There's all these fiddly headlamps and all this business going on.
I'm
What have they
surprised it
done?
doesn't have studs in its ears. Here. They have literally ruined it. And now, listen, I am aware, of course, that there is a demand for a car that looks like this, because I know there is such a place as Cheshire. And I don't mind if they make this Range Rover Rooney edition.
I could just call it the Range Rooney.
Which is the
Yeah.
The Wayne Wover.
These are good names. These are good names. But all I'm asking is, please, can everybody else, ordinary, decent people, have the old one back? Please?
Actually, I have to say I agree with you. There needs to be a version of the new Range Rover that isn't for people who want to celebrate the life and work of a potato-faced shopping enthusiast.
We want the old one back, we really do.
We do. Oh, now, there aren't very many things that we all agree on, except this. We all think that the best small car that you can buy at the moment is the Citroën DS3.
Yeah.
No, we're not joking about this. That is a genuinely brilliant little car.
Something about it, it's like a Mini that smokes gulwas. It's just it
It is, it's fantastic.
The weird thing is, it's got exactly the same engine as the Mini, hasn't it? As the Mini
Yeah.
Cooper, but it just feels better for
It
some
does, it's
reason.
great. Anyway, the reason I brought this up is because they're bringing out a new hot version of this. Got a picture of it here. It's called the Racing, OK?
Yeah.
200 horsepower. The only thing is Citroën will not. They refuse to tell us how much it's going to cost. I'm just going to make it up. 50 quid. There you go. It's £50.
It's £50.
That's
You want
fantastic.
one.
And the thing is, who in their life wouldn't want orange wheels?
Well,
Seriously.
Well, anyone with red hair, I imagine it'll clash. Squirrels, red squirrels, they were terrible.
Or the Duchess of York.
And Robinson.
Yes.
The Pope. What's he called? The Pope bloke?
Well, the Pope.
Silence, you
endless.
two. They're only making 1,000 of them because they're French and therefore idle communists.
Well, that's because nobody wants orange wheels, obviously, we don't know.
Anyway, I can't wait to get a go in that. It just looks brilliant.
It does look
And I do like the wheels.
Hey! Good news. Look, I have secured some top secret film taken inside the factory of the new Dacia Duster being made.
Excellent. Excellent. Anyway, the end of... I'm sure you have. Sure you like it very much. The end of last week's programme, this appeared. This is called the end board. This is what you see every single week at the end of every single programme, except for Top Gear, look. MMXX. That's 2020. This is the only programme coming from 10 years in the future.
And now we must do the news, and we start off with news that since James drove that Virage, Aston Martin have launched a new car. And here it is. It's called the V12 Zagato. There it is. And James, you'll be particularly interested in this, mate, I think.
Will I?
Yeah, you will. Because the boss of the company was quoted this week as saying, the Nürburgring is where we sign off every new model. I'm quoting, and there can be no better place for the new V12 Zagato to be finally tested, said the boss of Aston Martin.
For crying out loud. Do you know what? If I'd been in Bomber Command in 1943, I would have bombed the Nürburgring every single night until it was gone. Am I the only person who thinks like this?
This bad back of yours, would you say it makes you a bit crabby?
There's nothing to do with that bad back. He's got a bad back as well, but he won't agree with me about it.
Okay.
Ride is important.
All right.
Bomb it! It was a bad policy. Look where we are now. We no longer have Dresden Cathedral or all that lovely pottery, but we do have the Nürburgring, and under my bombing policy, we wouldn't have cars that rode badly, and you'd have a nice cathedral to look at and better saucers.
Now, Have you noticed how some of the best-looking cars you can buy these days are like ordinary family saloons or hatchbacks or
I know what you mean.
Yes.
estates?
Yeah,
I mean, Citroen
everyday
sent us a
car.
picture of their new DS5. Okay, that is a good-looking, sort of ordinary mid-sized car.
The Peugeot 508 is a good-looking car as well, isn't it?
It is. No, we've got a picture of it here. Because what makes that particularly good is that Peugeots in recent years have had these sort of the big guppy mouths on them. Yes, that.
Yes.
That is a very good impersonation of a Peugeot. No, that's what
Not
they used
now,
to be.
but,
I can only impersonate a Morgan.
Yeah.
Can you do any other car?
No, I can only do Peugeots, but I can do any Peugeot you name. 308?
207. I'll stump him. You know the tiny little one, the 1007 with the electric sliding doors?
It's exactly like that.
Now, last week we looked at a modern-day interpretation of the E-Type, which was fantastic. Okay, well, now there's another one. Here it is. I mean, I just think that looks spectacularly good. Starts out in life as a Jaguar XKR, modern-day car, and then a Swiss company ups the V8 engine by 100 horsepower, and then they fit a, well, I have to say, brilliant-looking carbon fibre and aluminium body, so it's 200 kilograms lighter.
That's gorgeous.
I know.
I'm not sure I really like it. Actually.
Well, that's because you're odd.
You are a
But you are very odd. But I think there is a problem with this car because they've called it the Growler.
Yeah. Now, we Googled Growler, and we were quite surprised and a bit shocked by what it turns out to mean.
And do you know, Richard, I've just forgotten what it is. What does it mean? Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen?
Well, you know those big welcome mats you might see on a girl in the 70s?
That's what it
One of them.
is.
Why would you name your car after that?
Honestly, James, I don't think they knew. I think they're sitting now in Zurich or wherever they are. This is the first time they've realised that Growler means that in England. And they'll be sitting going, Gott in Himmel! Wolfgang, we have accidentally named the car after ein Fraugarten!
I'm not sure they're going to sell very many of those.
No, neither do I, and there's another reason why. It costs £670,000. Yeah, there probably will be a trimmed-down version later, but I bet you... just for the Brazilian market.
Сотни мыслей в моей голове, как цифры в экране. Но когда я на сцене, я в своей зоне. Моя жизнь — это симфония, каждая нота мечта. Я пишу свой путь, даже если мне сопротивляются. Бьющийся ритм, словно сердцебиение. Это моя музыка, это моя пьяняющая медитация. Мир за окном, но я на вершине. Моя сила идет изнутри, она не имеет предела. Кубок наливается ядом внутри меня. Не знал, что там спрятано, но я принял риск, это правда. Я создаю себя заново, не останавливаясь ни на мгновение. В этом мире 2024 я становлюсь сильнее. Жизнь как батл, я преодолеваю каждое препятствие. Оружие в каждом слове истина. Я не копирую, я создаю свой путь сам. Мой голос несет смысл, даже когда мир кажется безысходным. Это не просто песня, это моя жизнь на стихах. Словно эхо в темноте, я нахожу свой свет. Я не оглядываю себя вперед, это моя миссия. Моя музыка — это я, и я не перестану играть.
Thank you very much. There's a new Mini out, okay? It's a picture of it here. It's called the Countryman. It's not a funny name. This is the biggest car in the world, okay? You might think this is a stubble field. It isn't. It's the Brazilian rainforest. These are trees, in fact, here.
So that's a Mini in the same way that you were a midget. Then.
Exactly. Now, and you might think, well, that's all right. You know, I fancy a Mini. I like the idea of a Mini, but I want more space. But the ridiculous thing is, it's only, well, the one I drove the other day only had 4 seats.
No, you're right, actually, because you'd think there'd be a middle one in the back, but there's this sort of styling feature.
No, there is a good picture of it here. There's just 2 bars that run all... Look. What's the point of that?
It is a civic sculpture.
It is. It's like trading up from a 3 to a 4-bedroom house and then filling the 4th bedroom with a waterfall. Why would you do that? It's just stupid. It's the stupidest car I've ever seen, and it gave me crabs.
What? Crabs?
I meant cramp. Why did I say crabs? How can a car give you crabs?
I don't know, tell us! Oh, I know what I want to talk about. Really big news. The new car from Pagani is out. The Zonda's gone. This is the new replacement for it from Pagani. Look at that. It's an astonishing 730 brake horsepower, 6-litre AMG V12, specially designed for the car, very technical. It's got a carbotanium body, so that's carbon fibre, but actually titanium woven in with the carbon fibre in it.
Yes, can I just interrupt? What worries me is we liked the Zonda because it was completely bonkers, yes? Doesn't that look just a bit sensible to you? Isn't it a bit like Lady Gaga going, no, I'm a musician now and I want to start writing opera?
A bit serious?
Yeah.
A bit grown up?
Yeah.
Yeah, OK. Here's the interior. Look at that! Ooh. That's clearly not all sensible and boring, is it?
I like the colour of that, actually.
Well, if you want that colour, James, just have a baby. Get it 8 times a day.
What's it called?
It's called the Hurrah. It is. It's spelt Huayra. It's written here, just in case you forget. Oh, that's the noise you make when you're sick in the passenger seat.
If you two are just going to mock, you won't mind if I test it on the programme then, will you?
Not at all. You knock yourself out.
OK.
No, don't, actually, if you're driving fast.
I got that.
Oh, now, day in, day out, OK, we meet people who say to us, don't like cars very much, but I do watch Top Gear. Well, if you're not interested in cars, ta-da! New Ford Focus. There it is.
You're not saying it's bad, are you?
No, it's a car. That is some car right there. I'll tell you something about the Ford Focus, right? I'm doing the figures this week on it. 275 people a day in Britain alone buy a Ford Focus. Now, that's what an hour, about 12 an hour? So who's waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and thinking, I've got to get a Focus. I'm going to go out now. I've got to have... Who are they?
No, that's the most mangled bit of statistics I've ever heard. It doesn't mean somebody has to do it on the hour every hour. It's just...
Yeah, but it's still 275 people a day. See, I can't work it out. I mean, for instance, we know Saabs are driven by architects, yeah? We know Audis are driven by people who play golf. We know Land Rover Discoveries are driven by murderers.
Ah, no.
What?
I'm going to have to put you up on that because I think you'll find murderers drive a Renault Espace.
Well, Kenneth Noy, who was a murderer, he had a Land Rover Discovery.
So he may have done, but Harold Shipman drove a Renault Espace.
Did he?
Fred West drove a Renault Espace. Peter Sutcliffe drove a Renault 16.
It was only because the Espace hadn't been invented.
Exactly.
This is a Top Gear top tip. If you're a policeman and there's been a murder in your area, simply arrest anyone who has a practical Renault. That's fascinating. I think that's very interesting. Anyway, we got a bit off topic, but there you are, new Ford Focus. Ideal if you just want some car.
Good news, chaps.
No, what?
There's a new Dacia, and I've got a picture of it. Here it is, it's called the Logi.
Oh, that's a looker, isn't it?
Anyway, moving on. Whiplash is a charter for fraudsters.
I know what you mean.
No, we all know this, OK? Because you have a car accident, you go, oh, I've got whiplash, and then you rape the other motorist's insurance policy, and you get benefits for the rest of your life. Now, the government has said that this has to stop. So, they have announced, the government, all right, that if the impact speed is less than 6.25 miles an hour, you can't have whiplash.
6.25?
6.25.
But then they're also saying if it's like 6.5, you could get whiplash. At that speed.
Yeah.
You can do that speed sitting down quickly. Look, I'm doing about 6.5, I've got whiplash. I'm going to sue him.
It should be 63 miles an hour.
At
That would be a
least.
reasonable speed.
The question should be, is your car absolutely and entirely wrecked? Is it crumpled like a discarded crisp bag, in which case you might have whiplash?
Has the boot lid badge been stencilled onto your own spine? Well, then you've got whiplash.
Could be.
No, it's not. It's can you actually look up your own arse now? Yeah, you've possibly got some whiplash.
It could be.
Honestly, I really do genuinely believe this. People who claim they've got whiplash when they haven't, I don't believe in capital punishment, but they should be shot.
Really?
Where would you shoot them?
In the head.
No, I mean, I meant more sort of geographically,
Yeah.
where would you think?
Oh, God.
On their own or in front of anyone? Do you want to say that?
Front behind.
Let's just sort it out. Usually goes well when you do. Maybe on a different show. Let's just get it just so we can straighten out your belief. Who do you think should be shot? Where? And in front of whom? Just tell us that.
Now, moving it on. I've got some actual news.
Oh, don't be daft.
What,
mate.
in
It's
our
the
news
section.
In the news section. Yes, it's not just rubbish. this.
Careful, we're in uncharted waters here.
Okay. I have it on good authority that Land Rover is currently working on a 300 horsepower convertible version of the new Evoque.
The Evoque?
Yeah.
Ooh, have you got a picture?
No. But I've got a picture here of the hardtop one because it's so secret. This only I know. Well, not only I. Everybody now knows about it. So I thought, look, you can.
Stand back, he's got scissors! Well, look at him concentrate. Look at him now. That's it. It's the Top Gear orangutan. Look at his happy little face, completely absorbed in his own world.
And if you watch very carefully, everybody, you can see Jeremy's mouth moving in time.
Yeah, it does.
It's quite tricky going down the door
It's a
mirror.
tricky windscreen bit now, isn't it?
Ready?
And across the line.
Actually, it was quite good, didn't it?
Good. All right.
And am I right in saying that would be the first ever convertible off-road car?
Yeah, well, apart from the original Willys Jeep and the first Toyota Land Cruiser
Yeah.
and the original Land Rover, but apart from that, yeah.
Apart from the very origins, genesis, the whole foundation, if you will, of the entire concept of off-roader is founded upon a convertible. Other than
Did I say that out loud?
You did, and we all heard it.
That is a bit like saying they should make a song called Blue Suede Shoes.
Yes, they should.
Yeah.
Done that before.